All right, so this is your Chapter 6, Law of Sines quiz review. All right, so number one, and you got your paper there. Number one says, for the following triangle, find the indicated side length. So here's our triangle. We have A, B, no, I'm sorry, that's not the word there, doing it. I'm just not going to label the angles. Here we have 70. Here we have 73.7 degrees, 43.3 degrees, 39, 42, and C. Now, we do have enough information to find this angle here, but all we're trying to do is find the length of C, so we really don't need that angle, nor do we need this 39. All we need is the 42, the 73, the 43, and the C. So, let's set it up. We know that 42 over the sine of 73.7 is going to equal C over 43.3. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply, I'm sorry, it's the sine of 43.3. I don't know how I forgot to write that. Sine of 43.3. So now we're just going to multiply both sides by the sine of 43.3. So that will look like this. So you multiply both sides by that, you get 42 times the sine of 43.3 divided by the sine of 73.7. Make sure your calculator is in the correct mode. Since all of our angles here are degrees, you want to make sure you're in degree mode. When you punch this into your calculator, you're going to get 30.0 or just 30. I would take 30 or 30.0. Alright, so this one's just a simple law of sines. You can use this as little a if you want. This is big A. So it's little c, this is big C. And remember, it's just little a over the sine of A equals little c over the sine of big C. Alright? So, that's number one. Let's go on to number two. Number two. Again, this is for the following triangle. Find the indicated side length. So here we have our triangle. 18, 79.2, A, 48, and 21.6. So now, we need these two. So we're going to have little a over the sine of 79.2 equals, now let's do the 18 over the sine of the 21.6. Alright, so again, we don't need the 48, we don't need to figure out this angle. So now you just multiply both sides by the sine of 21.6 to get it out of the denominator. So the sine, actually you got to cross multiply this one. No you don't. I'm doing this completely backwards because I usually put my a over here. Sorry, multiply both sides by the sine of 79.2. So 18 times the sine of 79.2 divided by the sine of 21.6. Now this is just a simple calculator problem. 18 times the sine of 79.2 divided by the sine of 21.6. And you should get 48.0 or just 48. Alright. So if you look, this is actually an isosceles triangle because this side is 48 as well. So this is actually an isosceles triangle. Alright, number three. So solve the triangle with the known information and give all angles. So all we're worried about is the measure of angle A, measure of angle B, and the measure of angle C. Alright. We also have to see if we have two triangles or no triangles as well. So what I would do, go ahead and set up your triangle. A, B, C. Our given information, we know little a is 21, little b is 14, and a is 74. Now we know since our a is greater than our b, a is greater than b, we know that's only one solution. So now what we got to do is find the other angles. Well, we're trying to find the sine of b, so we know that 21 over the sine of 74 degrees equals 14 over the sine of angle b. Now cross multiply because you're looking for the angle. So 21 times the sine of b equals 14 times the sine of 74. Divide both sides by 21. And the sine of b equals, just punch this into your calculator, 14 times the sine of 74 divided by 21 gives you 0.641. Now, since we're looking for the angle B here, what we're actually going to do is take the inverse sine of that 0.461, and that's going to give us our angle. All right? So go to your calculator, take the inverse sine of your answer. You're going to get 39.9. Sorry, it's kind of clustered up there. So B is 39.9. Now to get C, you simply add these together and subtract it from 180. 74 plus 39.9 gives you 113.9. So 180 minus that answer. And C here is 66.1. So we know this is 74, we know this is 39.9, and this is 66.1. All right, so for number 3, you only had one triangle. But now if you look at number 4, which hopefully you've already at least attempted number 4, all right, number 4 I do believe comes out to 2 solutions. But let's just check to verify that first. Remember, to have 2 solutions, A is going to have to be larger than the height, but smaller than side B. All right, so the measure of angle A is 39 degrees, A is 3.8, and B is 5. So since A is smaller than B, we have to find the height of the triangle. Remember, the height of the triangle is the sine of 39 equals h over 5. Multiply both sides by 5. So 5 times 39 equals h. 5 times the sine of 39 equals h. Again, calculate a problem. 5 times the sine of 39 gives you 3.15. So as you can see, this does occur. A is larger than the height, but less than B. So we're going to have 2 different triangles. All right. So now we just have to figure out what all the angles are, because that's all we want are the angles. So let's find this first B, because then it'd be real easy to find C. So again, we know that 3.8 over the sine of 39 equals 5 over the sine of B. Cross multiply. 5 times the sine of 39, and remember, I'm going to go ahead and do my division, divided by 3.8 equals the sine of B. So plug it into the calculator. 5 times the sine of 39 divided by 3.8, and we get that the sine of B equals 0.828. Take the inverse sine of that, and that will give us B. B is 55.9. All right, so angle, I'm going to call it A1, angle B1 and C1, and angle C sub 1. A sub 1 we know is 39. B sub 1 we just found at 55.9. And C, we're going to add those two together, subtract from 180. So the angle C sub 1 is 85.1. Now, to find the other ones, we don't need any of this anymore, and we actually don't even really need to use law of cosines anymore. We know that if we swing this side around, it's going to come and touch over here, okay? So now we're going to find this angle, which I'm going to call angle A sub 2, angle B sub 2, angle C sub 2. This angle B and this new angle B are actually going to be supplementary. Angle A sub 2 is going to be the same as angle A sub 1 because this doesn't change, this 5 doesn't change, and this 3.8 doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the length of side C, angle B, and angle C. So, since we know that this angle B is going to be supplementary to our new angle B, all we have to do is do 180 minus that 55.9. So we know that our new angle B is 124.1. Now you have two angles of a triangle, so again, just subtract them from 180. And we get that our new angle C is 16.9. Alright, so those are our two triangles. Alright, first one has these angles. We found angle B by using the law of sines. And then once we found angle B using the law of sines, we just added these up, subtracted from 180 to get that one. Over here, 39 again was given. Remember, angle B sub 2 and angle B sub 1 are supplementary, so once we found this one, you just subtract it from 180 to get this one. And then, again, you have two angles of a triangle, add them together, subtract from 180 to get your second angle C. Alright? Pretty simple there. Alright, number 5, we're on the back of the worksheet. It says find the area of the triangle defined by the following amounts. So, A, B, and C. We know angle A is 114 degrees, B is 8, and A is 10. Alright? So now, we know, because the formula's on the front, that we need that the area is 1/2 one side times another side times the sine of an angle. Now, if you remember, we need it's one side times the other side times the sine of the angle in between. So we either need to find angle C or we need to find this side. Alright, well, to find angle C, you got to go through the whole process. Alright, so we know that 10 over the sine of 114 equals 8 over the sine of B. Okay, so cross multiply, 8 times the sine of 114 over 10 equals the sine of B. Alright, so just punch that in and figure that out. And of course we know that the inverse sine of that answer will equal our angle, so I'm going to do this all at one time in the TI Inspire. This comes out to 47 degrees. So B is 47 degrees. So 180 minus 114 minus 47 is 19. So C is 19. Alright? So there we go. We don't need to find this because now we have the sine of the angle between them. So all you have to do is 1/2 times 8 times 10 times the sine of 19 degrees. So let's go ahead and half this down to a 4. So 40 times the sine of 19 degrees is going to be our area. 40 times the sine of 19. Our area is 13.0. Alright, so that's our area, 13.0. Alright, let's move on to the last one. Number 6. Again, let's find the area. So again, we have A, B, and C. C is 28.2. Little a is 10. Little b is 7. So your area is just 1/2 of 7 times 10 times the sine of 28.2. Let's go ahead and knock that to a 5. So 7 times 5 is 35 times the sine of 28.2. Punch that into your calculator. 35 times the sine of 28.2, and you should get 16.5. And of course, all of these are units squared because they're area, and area is always in square units. Alright, so this has been your law of sines quiz review. Make sure you understand how to do these 6 problems before you come to class tomorrow. See you tomorrow.